Hello everyone, welcome to Preparing for Christ. My name is Terry, and I want to put out a new video for you today. There's been a lot happen since my last one. It's heartbreaking to see everything that's taken place in our country lately, but at the same time, anyone who's honest, who's a true American, in my opinion, you know that this has been coming. I mean, there's everybody sees what's happening in our country, and as myself as a Christian, and I believe a lot of the people, even people who are not, that I work with, that I socialize with and see, there's just a feeling. There's just a feeling in this country now. There has been for a while, but it's really getting stronger by the day, in my opinion, that the future doesn't look good. I'm just being totally 110% honest. I'm going to tell you my thoughts and opinions personally. The future does not look good for this country. For this world, for that matter. And we know that because the Bible tells us that, you know, we are living in the last days. I've said it many a times, and I believe that with all my heart. We are in the last days. We're living in the last days. As well as I believe we are truly facing the end of America. I'm just going to tell you where I stand. I no longer believe in our government at all. I don't trust our government at all. And this has nothing to do with Republicans, Democrats, or anything else. The Democrat Party now, using that definition, now has the presidency, the House, and the Senate. There is no one or nothing to stop them from whatever they want to do. Whatever they want to do. There's nothing to stop them now. The seats in the Senate are elected. They have an election every 2 years. So they have 2 years to get it done. So the bottom line is we are facing hell, period. We're facing absolute devastation of our country, our rights, our freedoms, our way of life, everything. And it's coming. I don't care if you laugh. I don't care if you don't believe me. It's bluntly in front of your face. And if you can't see that or don't believe that, then maybe you're part of the problem. That's just the way it is. The way that this works, the way war's coming to this country. Our country is divided, without a doubt. And something you got to learn and you got to understand if you pay attention to this stuff and are truly care about your home and your country and your state, your town, your city, everything, your way of life. You got to watch and see what's taking place around you. And the bottom line is our country is solely divided. Just as it was during the Civil War. America was founded, built, and still is to this day by a rebellious nature. Just people here, people that come here from all around the world. This country is made up of people from immigrants from all around the world. You have every type of person there is here. And the reason they're here is because they want freedom. They want things their way. They want to be able to do what they want. They want to live free, not to be told what to do, suppressed, or anything by anybody else. They want to be left alone. And they want to live the way they feel is right. The way they feel justifiable, comfortable, whatever. And the Constitution to break it down, the Constitution for us is basically the rule book. It's the guidelines. It's the road atlas. It's the dictionary. It's whatever. But that's what this country is founded on, based on, to give you an outline to follow. And our very first constitutional right, Bill of Rights, constitutional right, is the freedom of the press, the freedom of assembly, the freedom to express your opinion, your words, the freedom of speech. The way that like when our military goes into a country, you go to war with a country or whatever, the very first thing you do is you have to divide and conquer the people, and you have to silence them. You have to break communications. And you do that by hitting the power plants, satellites, all this kind of stuff, okay? You cannot let people communicate. When they can communicate, they can work together, they can build a team, they can work against you. Social media, Google, Apple, Facebook, Parler, Twitter, Instagram, all this social media, YouTube, all this social media that we use is a means of communication. It's the freedom of the press. It's freedom of speech. And they are going to destroy this country, and they're not even in power, and they've already started. They've now suspended Donald Trump from Facebook and Twitter. A lot of people know that. However, they also have suspended now all these people I know from Facebook, Twitter, all these social platforms. Donald Trump, General Flynn, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, now I can't remember her name, the woman that was is an attorney for Donald Trump. I don't remember now. They're suspending anyone who speaks out against them. Anyone that supports Donald Trump or supports the Constitution, they're suspending your accounts. They're shutting it off. So you can't communicate. This deal that took place last week, or this week, excuse me, at the Capitol building, the reason they're suspending these accounts, they're going after Fox News. My wife and I just seen this morning that they are literally going to try to ban Fox News from the television. Y'all could think this is a game or a joke or conspiracy theory or whatever you want. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you. They want you to brush it off. They want you to ignore it. They want you to think it's so extreme that it wouldn't happen. But that's not the case. And people are done. People are fed up. The American people are fed up. They've had enough. All I see on social media today, the past couple days, on YouTube and everything, I watched some YouTube channels of these guys who are preppers. A lot of them are ex-military. I'm not going to say their name, but if you want to get a hold of me, I could give you their information. You can look for it yourself, because I believe they're doing exactly what needs to be done, and I want to do the same thing. They're calling people together. They're building militias. They're building readiness groups. They're building prepper groups. They're building a resistance against this government. Call it what you want. But that's what they're doing. And some of these guys, there's one guy next Saturday is calling all these people together, getting them ready, that has almost 400,000 people who watch his channel. Now, I know not all of those people are going to come there, but do you realize how many will? This ain't a game. This ain't a joke. Within the next month or two, we all could be fighting in the streets for our lives. What happened at the Capitol building was not the American people. It was not Trump supporters per se. There were some. I'm not saying that. There were some. But the bulk majority, it was Antifa. And the reason they're shutting the social media down is because everybody has video. Everybody has proof. And they're starting to post it online. They're starting to show the proof online. On the website, on the Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all this stuff. My wife and I have watched video after video after video. And another guy, I'll tell you this guy's name because it's public. His name is Dustin Williams. Check him out on Facebook. He served in the U.S. Army. He done a tour in Iraq and everything. He was there. He was at the Capitol building. And he said he went to the Capitol building with this group, with these people. However, he did not bust out windows. He didn't go in the building. He didn't take any part in that. A lot of the people went to the Capitol building, but the people that broke in and went in were not, bulk majority was not Trump supporters. And the fact of the matter is, you need to be honest with you and just truly ask yourself, okay, all these people went there peacefully, as Dustin said, he's got video and everything. In the beginning, they were there for in the morning all day long, and they had speakers there and stuff. He said there was all kinds of women and children, people older, younger, peaceful. They were praying, they were singing the national anthem, all this stuff. He said it was like a light, all of a sudden just a light switch, like it switched. They all went to the Capitol building and they noticed a large group of what you would call military-aged men, young men from the age of 18, 19 to maybe 30 years old, that are in the front up towards the Capitol building, okay? But here, let's be honest and let's really talk about this. Number one, why would you take the Capitol building? Why would you do that unless you were actually going to make a siege of it? The people were in there hunkered down, and the police and everybody, they were outnumbered 20-1. So if somebody was going to do this for an actual, force them to change the vote or something, why wouldn't you actually take the building, fortify it, and hold it until your demands are met? Well, I can tell you why, because that was not the plan at all. This was all a planned organization. Not only that, there's video after video after video that shows there was all kinds of riot police, SWAT police on the standby ready to go. But you can watch it yourself, the videos. The police didn't try to stop these people. They let them in. There's a few police officers you see periodically here or there, telling them to stop. But for the most part, they let them in. But not only did they let them in, there's video of the police walking through the buildings with them, just walking around talking. One cop has his arm around a guy. They're chit-chatting like buddies. Not to mention, and if these were terrorists, as the mainstream media is saying, they're terrorists and they were threatening lives and blah blah blah. What'd they do to the building? They didn't burn the building. They didn't spray paint the building. They didn't vandalize the building. They didn't steal. You ever see? Look up the Capitol building, inside the Capitol building. Look at all the old paintings on the walls. All of the huge expensive fixtures sitting around and everything. Why didn't they steal all this stuff? Because that wasn't what they were there for. That's why. They were there to set Trump up. They were there to set us up. Most likely, anybody who's a Trump supporter, follows him on Facebook, comments, Twitter, anything like that, you're going to be shut off too. My channel, this will probably be shut off. And not only that, they went in, so they broke some windows and stuff. Yeah, I give you that. They got in, but why? And not only that, when they got in, they weren't in there very long. They were only in there for an hour or something. And then the police let them leave. They didn't tackle them. They didn't arrest anybody or anything. Now, supposedly, these people, the picture of the guy in the Nancy Pelosi's desk and the guy with the one holding up the one podium thing in there, supposedly these men have been arrested. Everybody has seen the picture of the guy with the big bullhorn hat on and everything. You know what that is? That's a satanic symbol, that bullhorn. That's Antifa. That man is a known Antifa supporter. Big time. He was posing all over in there with those pictures for that simple reason. But they let these people leave. They didn't arrest none of them. Why? Why? There's more to this, folks. This wasn't just a fluke thing. This just didn't all of a sudden happen and play out like it did for no apparent reason. And from what I'm hearing, what I see and different things, supposedly by Inauguration Day, January 20th, Donald Trump's got a very big surprise for this country, for this world. There's videos circulating yesterday. His son Eric Trump, his birthday was yesterday, and it shows Donald Trump and all of them, and Donald Trump's in the background, holds up a red folder with a big smile. I don't know what that means. I don't know, maybe nothing. I don't know. But they're saying that this was actually a staged event and everything, and that Donald Trump did have some people go in there and supposedly got Nancy Pelosi's laptop and a bunch of these other politicians, and before Donald Trump leaves, he's spilling the bean. He's going to either flip the tide. I don't know what's going to happen. If anything, maybe nothing. I don't know. It could be just talk. But supposedly, that's all you're hearing now is, well, I've been hearing it for a while, but now it's really coming out that he's going to spill the beans on all these people. All their dirty laundry is going to come out. In my opinion, if anybody was, Donald Trump's your man to do it. I mean, I voted for him, and the reason I don't consider Donald Trump all that great, but he is a heck of a businessman. He done a lot of good for our country. He really did. But as far as this whole situation, the American people are just fed up. I know I am. I'm sick and tired. I'm just done with this. I'm just done with it. Now we got to worry Joe Biden getting in there, shutting the country down, being out of work. They have the House, the Senate, the presidency. Do you honestly think that these people aren't going to destroy this country? They're coming for your guns, number one. And once they can get guns away from everybody, guess what? Then they're going to close the churches, because they know those two things are what are the backbone, the glue to this country. As long as the average American has weapons, they know in order to take this country, it's going to be dire, straight bloodshed. A lot of people will die. And they know that we are a Christian nation, supposedly a Christian nation, but they do know that a lot of people believe in the Lord. And true Christians will stand, I believe, will stand up and fight for their faith. They're coming for us, folks. I'm telling you now. If you've ever believed anything, I'm telling you, the paintings on the wall, the writings on the wall, they're coming. There's nothing to stop them now but God Himself. And I'm just trying to really be blunt and honest here. I worry about my family, my kids, my wife. I really do. The hell that can be unleashed on this country is mind-boggling. It really is. The American people are fed up. And here's the thing with Americans. We are very rebellious type in nature, and once our mind is made up, once our heart is into something, in my opinion, I don't know of anything that we haven't seen it through to the end and overcome And it's just now a matter of time. It's just it's just a matter of time before they try to pass some law. They try to lock us down again, take our jobs, our homes, our right, whatever. It's just going to take the one spark, the right spark, to set this off. And people are going to rise up against this government. And unfortunately, that's where we're at now. I said in my last video, I talked about, deception, confusion, fear, and anger. And I told you we're between fear and anger. In my opinion, that's where this country is. Not anymore. Now we're mad. Now we're angry. People aren't afraid anymore. They're not going to sit back and keep putting up with this. They're not. I'm just an average Joe. I'm nobody in this world, this country, whatever. But I am an American. I am a tax-paying citizen. And I've had enough. I'm done. I'm done with just all the lies and I'd rather you tell me to my face the truth and me hate what's coming or whatever than to lie about it and mislead me and then spring it on me. I mean, I'm just done. People are done. People are done in this country. I truly believe that what's coming for this country is not good. They say Antifa wasn't at that rally and everything, but look at do you really think these are Trump supporters? I don't. And here, I want to show you. This is Antifa's website. This is their actual website. Do you oppose any of this? Is if you wanted to join Antifa, you have to answer their questions and everything. And their very first deal here is, do you oppose any of these fascist leaders? They got Hitler, Mussolini, whatever his name is. Look at there. Who's that? Donald Trump. Now you mean to tell me if they have that much hatred for this man, that they aren't going to do something like they did at the Capitol building? I mean, that's a dead giveaway. And all they've talked about is disarming us and that we don't need assault weapons, all this kind of stuff. And they fought Donald Trump tooth and nail, man, about building the wall. They did not want a wall built around this country, keep people out and everything else. Yet every one of them live in a gated community. They have armed bodyguards that escort them everywhere they go every day. And what do you see now at the Capitol building? The Capitol building has a huge fence all the way around it, protecting who? Who's inside. Folks, I don't know what else to say or do to get people to realize who these people really are and what their true intentions are. I'm not going to dwell on this point because, in my opinion, it doesn't do any good. Because if you're serious and you believe these things, you know these things, and you're real. I know, as I said before, I know I'm nobody. I'm just the average guy, whatever. But the day is coming very soon where we are going to make a choice. We are going to have to stand up for our rights, fight for our homes, our families, everything. And I'm getting ready. I'm doing just that. I'm preparing for that day. And anybody that's interested in doing that, email me. Get a hold of me through the email and we can get together. All these other guys, I'm telling you now, are forming groups. They're meeting up and forming groups. And here's the thing, you can't be afraid anymore. You can't worry about, if we form a group, they're going to know who we are, they're going to, whatever. It's beyond that now. It's beyond that. That's what's got us to this point. What if George Washington and all these men, what if all these men, What if they acted the way we did? What if they just, we better not do that, we might get in trouble. They put everything on the line. They've tried to use the facts, the truth, and everything. We've done the same. We've been following suit. The Democrats don't play by the rules. They don't play fair. And in my opinion, for the most part, the people on the right, the conservative, have. They've tried to show the facts, the truth, the fraud, and everything. It does no good. There comes a point where you have to draw a line. You have to take a stand. But when you're getting shipped out on a train cart, it's a little too late. Please, folks, I'm telling you, don't take this as a joke. Don't take it as a conspiracy or anything else. This is not the game. This is our lives we're talking about. This is our country, the future of our children, our grandchildren. We need to come together. Christians are going to be persecuted, one of the first ones. If you're a Christian, you need to get with other Christians and get together, get a plan. I don't mean you have to go buy a bunch of guns and everything else. Yeah, I got all that. I'm getting ready to use weapons if that's what it comes to. But we need to get organized together to where if something does happen, then we can hurry up and get together and get organized and take a stand. If it means by force, then it means by force. That's a last resort, but you need to have the resources to do that if that's what it comes to. The facts are the facts and reality is reality. You can only ignore it so long, and they're going to be knocking at your front door. We've got to get organized together. We've got to get groups together, get people together, get organized, and get ready for what is coming. We got to get organized, folks, because I'm telling you, what the future holds for us is not good. Everybody knows that when we get a new president, they always talk about the first 100 days of the new president, what he's going to do. Well, for those of you who know or don't know, the next step on this COVID deal is vaccination cards. It says vaccination cards will be issued to everyone getting COVID-19 vaccine, health officials say. Well, it's already started. There's airlines and other countries who are already requiring that if you don't have a card, you can't enter their country, you can't fly, whatever. Now, I'm not saying this is the mark of the beast, because the mark of the beast is something that people will take willingly. However, this is how you control a society. You break down their communications, their freedom of speech, then you start mandating that you follow certain rules and regulations. Not only the card, but they're also talking now about colored face masks. So if you've been vaccinated, you get one color. If you haven't, you get another. If you've had COVID-19, you'll get another. I mean, it's coming. It's coming, folks. I'm telling you now. This is it says San Diego police mandate solid colored mask with no logos. It's mind-boggling if you try to stop and think about everything at once. I understand that. And I know, just like me, I'm just fed up with all the lies and the manipulation and the confusion and just everything in general. But there's a time when people you just have to get ready. You have to stand up. There comes a time where you have to take a stand. And it's here, it's now. And if you aren't prepared and ready for it, I'm sorry, but God only knows. The end result is death or prison or a concentration camp or whatever. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I want to read some verses out of the Bible, because the fact of the matter is, the time is now to stand up to these people. The time is now to make a stand. And if you're not ready for it, unfortunately, you're gonna wish you were. And the Bible tells us about government and obeying the government and everything, but the Bible also tells us that the people in authority are there for good, not for evil. And these people that are in there now have evil in their hearts, their minds, their spirit. They don't care about me, you, this country, or anything else. They are after one thing and one thing only, and that's power. I'm going to read Romans chapter 13, and I'm going to read you verses 3 through 5. It says, "For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Do you want to be unafraid of the authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. For he is God's minister to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is God's minister, an avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Therefore you must be subject, not only because of wrath, but also for conscience sake." The government is there to do good. They're there, we are to submit to them and follow their lead and everything else, but just as our Constitution tells us, once the government oversteps their bounds, once they are tyrannical, when they've turned against us, we the people have the power. They know that. And if we rise up, it's not going to be good, but it is going to be good. Because it's going to restore America if there is that possibility. And unfortunately, I believe the day isn't far off. As soon as Joe Biden gets in power, God only knows what's going to happen. And we got, I don't know, whatever, 2 weeks or something. Now I'm going to read you 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 12 to 20. "Having your conduct honorable among Gentiles, that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may, by your good works which they observe, glorify God in the day of visitation. Therefore submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, rather to the king as supreme, or to governors, as to those who are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of those who do good. For this is the will of God, that by doing good you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free, yet not using liberty as a cloak for vice, but as bound servants of God. Honor all people, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. Servants, be submissive to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and the gentle, but also to the harsh. For this is condemnable if because of conscience toward God one endures grief, suffering wrongfully." We are to put up with this to an extent. We are to suffer for our beliefs, our rights, and everything else. You know, it's no different than going to work and stuff. Nobody wants to get up and work hard every day and everything, but if you want to live and have things, you have to do it. But there comes a point where people, just as human beings, you know in your spirit, you know in your heart right from wrong. And you know when you should and should not do something that people may consider wrong or harsh or whatever for a good outcome. This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 26. A righteous man who falters before the wicked is like a murky spring in a polluted well. If you know right from wrong, and you sit back and let them do wrong and do nothing about it, in my opinion, you're as guilty as they are. I don't want to see any bloodshed. I don't want to see any destruction. I don't want to see any fighting or anything. But I don't know what else is left right now. These people, they're unwilling to talk. They're unwilling to compromise. They're unwilling to look at facts and truth. And this deal that happened at the Capitol building, in my opinion, on one hand, I feel that by these people doing this, some Trump support, whatever, but I feel maybe it showed them the power of the people. However, at the same time, I don't justify them doing, destroying the Capitol building or breaking the law or anything else. But again, when is enough enough? When do you say, where's your line? What does it take nowadays for people? If this had been 100 years ago, this would already been done and over with. They would have never stood for this. If my grandparents would have never, back in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, would have never stood for this. They would have peacefully went to their local government, their state government, federal government, whatever, and they would have demanded something be done. And if that didn't work, they would have rose up against the government. And I pray, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm completely wrong. And I pray that I am wrong. But common sense tells you that we can't keep doing this. We can't keep going like this. And God only knows what these people are going to do when they get in power, folks. And the fact of the matter is, I think people know that. So, you got to take from it what you will. Each man and woman has to make up their own mind. I understand that. But we need to realize that we're living in the last days. We're going to face persecution. God's plan is going to play out, like it or not. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to just sit and twiddle my thumbs and wait for the Lord to take me home. I'm not going to sit back and let Him destroy my country, my town, my way of life, everything else. Because, I believe the Lord's return could be any time. I believe He's going to return within the next couple of years. But if He doesn't, I have my kids to think about. And I don't want in a year from now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, them to be sitting in a prison somewhere or be living under communist rule and everything, saying, why didn't my dad do something? Why didn't my dad stand up? Why didn't my grandparents do something? Why didn't my brothers do something? Why didn't the neighbor do something? Because this, unfortunately, is on us, folks. Us that are here today living, it's on us. It's up to us to stand up and stop this, to stand up and change this. I don't know. As I said, I've been kind of prepping, I guess you would say, for a while, but I'm ready to kick it up a notch big time, because what we're facing, God only knows. It could be in a week from now, a month, or a year. Could maybe never happen, but I'm not going to get caught. I'm not going to get caught blindsided. So anybody that's interested in getting together, I don't have a lot of people subscribing and everything, but a lot of people have started watching my videos more. Maybe that's a sign, maybe it ain't, I don't know. However, the email, contact me through the email. I think that'd be the best way to do it, and then I'll get back to you and we can get together, talk, whatever, if you're interested. Or if you need anything else, want to talk, whatever, you can get a hold of me through the email. Leave your comments, like the videos, share the videos. I appreciate that. And thanks for watching. God bless. We'll see you next time.